Hello and welcome to the Redline Republic podcast. I would like to sit here and say that this is our first recording. However, it's not our fucking first recording because we recorded a 15-minute video and the phone died because I forgot to plug it in.
Yes.
Anyway, my name is Jake, better known as Badger. This is
Daniel, better known, I suppose, to some people as Dan.
Dan
Most
the man.
people are Dan.
Dan the man. So if you're viewing this is our first. Well, actually, it's not even our first episode. This is episode 0. This is kind of like an intro into our podcast.
And it's absolutely freezing.
So if you see us shivering, it's because we're sitting in a shed somewhere in County Louth, absolutely freezing our bollocks off.
Yeah.
So, as I said, we've recorded 15 minutes of this already, and the phone died, so we've lost all of that, so we'll start again. Anyway, if you're viewing this, and you don't know who we are, my name is Jake, better known as Badger. What I do for a living is I own Farley Auto Styling, which is it's like a aftermarket car modifying business. We do window tints, body kits, CarPlay radios is my plug for the business, really. Dan, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, I'm obviously not the business owner here. You've obviously got the social media background that I don't have.
Forgot to touch on that, actually.
I'm basically polar opposite of what you are.
Yeah, but somehow we click.
Yeah. I'm a mechanic. Qualified 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I don't know.
Qualified bluffer many years ago.
That's true. That's basically all there is about me.
What I failed to mention as well is I do social media. See, we're after running through all of this already, so we have to kind of remember that. Everything that we're just after saying.
It has to be said again.
Nobody knows who we are. So I do social media. I do Snapchat. I have done TikTok in the past. Now, this is all kind of alien to us, this whole kind of like setup and that podcasting and stuff. It's all alien and it feels different. It's very different to having your phone out and sitting talking to your phone. I know that if you're sitting there watching this and you've come here from my Snapchat, you're going to see me the same way that you'd see me on Snapchat. And you're going to think to yourself, how is this different? It just feels different. It feels more like, what would you even call it? Feels like an interview almost.
Yeah, it is very different to the way Snapchat works because you just pull your phone out, you record what's happening, you watch it back. It's what's the max you can go on Snapchat? 2 minutes?
2 minutes. 2 minutes per snap.
So 2 minutes, and then you might watch it 2 minutes back. You might not. You post it, and then after 24 hours, it's gone. But this is permanent. Unfortunately, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so I've been doing Snapchat pretty much for about 10 or 11 years. Not really consistent back then, but more so consistent since I set the business up about 2-3 years ago. I was getting gradually more consistent, but since with the last 2 or 3 years, it's been daily content. And so I've built up a bit of a following. I'm hoping it can transfer onto this. A lot of people have been saying to me, like, from doing Snapchat and that, they're like, why haven't you tried doing YouTube, TikTok, podcasting? Like, all of this has been suggested to me. And so, like, it's always been something that I wanted to do. And as well as that, like, me and Dan are friends with about 8 years.
We think about 8 years.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
So, like, as long as me and Dan have been friends, like, we've been messing and gallivanting and acting the idiots, like.
Yeah.
So, like, anytime we're together, we're constantly, like, our friendship kind of, like, revolves around, like, cars and fuck acting in cars and, like, would you even call them cars at times? Like, a lot of them.
Just about.
Borderline vehicles.
They've got 4 wheels and an engine. That's after that is questionable.
Sometimes they don't even have 4 wheels.
Yeah.
But like, so I feel like this podcast, so basically an intro into the podcast, more or less, is like, we feel like there's a niche, like there's nobody really doing a podcast like this, like the one that we're going to be doing, because there is podcasts out there based in Ireland that are car related. However, they're not very relatable to your average car enthusiast.
And they're needed too. It's not that they're not needed. It's not that we want to come in here and go, all these big ones just want to get them out.
No. They're definitely needed. They're good to watch. They're good to listen to.
But then we give the balance of, like, I get up at 7 o'clock every morning. I go to work. Get up 7 o'clock most mornings. Get up sometimes in and around 7 o'clock. Between 7 and 8.
Right. Yeah.
I go to work and I come home. And some of that includes, like, during the summer, my weekends will include a lot of trips to Mondello, to car meets, track days, all that kind of stuff. But I still just get up every morning. I still go to work. I'm not sitting on 50 or 100 grand or 200 grand worth of cars. I go out.
Still, you eat, sleep, and breathe cars. Like, you work to maintain your own personal collection, which we will touch on at some point for further down the line. But any free time that you have, any free money that you have, you're spending that on cars. You're spending that going to track days and events and different car scenes.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, that's kind of like, I'll be the opposite of that, whereby I don't really have time to go to these car events and as such, but I work on a daily basis with cars and modifying cars and talking to people that are car enthusiasts. And so, like, we wouldn't be on the level of these higher end podcasts and talking about these sports cars and, like, the likes of the Skylines and different, like, chasers and, like, fair enough, the Skylines and chasers, they might not be as expensive as the cars that they're doing.
Like, all kind of cars like that aren't entirely unachievable for anyone. Anyone can put their mind to it, and anyone can go out and save up 25, 30 grand.
But your average car enthusiast isn't going to have that.
Not every day, and maybe with the way prices of cars are at the minute, it might never happen in their life. But if it is something, you can put your mind down to it and do it. But you're not gonna go out and spend 25, 30 grand on a chaser, and then spend another 5 grand on a body kit, 5 grand getting it painted, 30 grand on the engine, and then 30 grand on insurance then.
Yeah. So, like, we want to be the voice of, like, your average car enthusiast.
Pretty much.
Your average PD130 Mark IV golf owner. Your average Toyota Corolla E12. Like, you get what I'm saying?
And I think what we'd like to do down the line too is give a voice to the other people that are spending all their money building their cars. And, like, the car scene in Ireland is levels above other car scenes in the world. And all you need to do is go to the LZ World Tour or Jap Fest.
Yeah.
And you walk around the paddock and, like, what is there, 5 million people in Ireland? And you've got, even though these people aren't, like, most of them have no social media presence. They're just building it because they like cars and this is the car that they love.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't have a platform, because if you've got the likes of Corolla or, like, something that you've dumped 20, 30 grand into to make it your own and you're proud of that, you might not be on the level of, like, you've got Drift Games up there. You might never make it on a Drift Games podcast. Like, we want to be talking about relevant stuff that you can relate to, as such, as being just your average car enthusiast. So obviously we're a new podcast. This isn't even episode 1.
It's just
we're going off on tangents there again.
That's how it goes.
So this is this is like an intro video, just letting you know what our plans are. So our plans are, we're going to record 1 episode every week. We're going to drop it on Tuesday.
Every Tuesday morning, we'll have a podcast out.
And so every week we're going to do something different, something a little bit different. It's always going to be car related, but it's going to be different. It's going to be relatable, and hopefully you enjoy listening.
And, like, it's going to be relatable, but I think we're still going to put in the unrelatable stuff. We still want to talk about the cars that people are building, that Adam LZ is building.
Mm-hmm.
Adam LZ is building another crazy 4-rotor Supra or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to have a 4-rotor Supra.
Yeah.
I don't even want a 4-rotor Supra, but it's cool. It's still worth talking about.
Yeah, I just want to backtrack a little bit as well, because I feel like we're after missing out. So we've told you who we are individually. We've told you that we know each other with about 8 years, but I think there's a funny story to tell them as well. Is the very first time that we met, I can vaguely remember it. I kind of crawl up inside myself every time I hear the story again, but it's definitely worth telling.
And then I don't drink, so I remember it all.
Yeah, so obviously, right, me and Dan met about 8 years ago. It was at like I believe it was a pre-deb, so it was at pre-debs in Navan. And so my missus and Dan's missus at the time were best friends, and we had never met before. I think I'd vaguely heard of you.
Yeah, and I had heard the not so good stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, heard all these stories, and I was like, this man, I don't want. If I never meet this man in my life, I'll be quite happy to go like that.
I think at times I should come with a warning label. Like nowadays, not as much, but like back then, definitely. Jesus Christ! I mean, if you were to describe me to me, I'd be like, "Yep, don't ever introduce me to this." But anyway, moral of the story: I ended up getting ran ours drunk before we even got to the spot.
Yeah,
we landed in. Very first time seeing this man, I don't even think we spoke a word to each other before this.
I don't think so. The first time, I don't remember you in the pub, but the first thing I remember is looking in the rearview mirror of my car and seeing this man, being like, Jesus Christ, what have I gotten myself into?
What decisions in life have I made?
To drive from Nobber to Navan is what, 15 minutes?
Something like that.
What was a long 15 minutes for a sober man in that car?
But anyway, so we made it about 10 steps into the nightclub. And the girls want to go to the toilet. And so, I don't even recall it, but my woman just put my hand inside of Dan's hand, looked Dan dead in the eye and says, "Look after him."
And then all I found myself doing was looking at this man that I had never met, never spoken to. And I was like, well, I better hold on to him because by the sounds of things, he might just run off.
We stood there for about 10 minutes, didn't speak one word. I don't even think we looked at each other. People were just walking past and like, the fuck?
I actually do remember at one point you had your phone out and you were recording something. I was like, this man's a space cadet.
Oh, yeah. It's a wonder we ever seen each other or spoke to each other since that.
And the maddest thing is the next time we seen each other was the next morning.
Yeah, I woke up dying with shame. Dying with shame. I was like, do I really have to see this for a fella again? Like, do I have to face him? But yeah, the rest was history. And so like anytime that me and Dan are together, it's always car related. We're always sitting here having an act with each other about cars or like slagging about cars or whatever. It's always been car related. We've always had an interest in shitboxes, more or less.
And I think that's a lot of the reason why I think a podcast really came between us, because we'd sit in the car for an hour going somewhere and we spend that hour talking absolute bollocks.
Yeah, we talk for days about cars.
Like, and none of it makes any sense. None of it matters. But then, like, why not throw it online? Why not let other people listen to us with our opinions that mean absolutely nothing?
Yeah. Well, see, for me, right, because obviously you have zero background in social media. You don't do what I think he actually said to me earlier. He's taken all of about 4 selfies his entire lifetime, like, and he's jumping in at the deep end here with a podcast, which is it's mental to me, like, so fair play to you, Dan.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
But yeah, so like for me, I come on and onto Snapchat and I basically vlog my entire day every day, and it's complete bollocks. But the views that I get, the responses that I get, and people say they enjoy listening, and so I've constantly been pushed to do a podcast or to do a YouTube channel, and so this is why we're here. Me and Dan, we've got endless stories. We actually, one of our pastimes were going on like Facebook Marketplace and ventures. I believe there was one day we had nothing on and I was like, fuck it, we just go and view a car. But yeah, I had about 20 quid in my pocket. About 20 quid in my pocket. We went and viewed this car. I think it was advertised at like 8 grand or so. I was rolling around the floor looking under it, popping bonnets, test drive. 20 euro in my pocket. I was never buying the thing. But that just pretty much sums up me and Dan. Like we have endless stories. There's endless crack that we have had relating to cars.
I think we've travelled nearly the length and breadth of the country on marketplace finds, and I don't think one of them was ever good.
No. I'm going to say, like, allegedly, right? Because we spoke about this earlier. You've had how many? 14 cars?
I think it's, I don't know, I'll have to count again. I think it's between 10 and 15, I think.
Yeah, and I've had, allegedly, over 100 cars. And it's not a false claim that, because you've pretty much seen,
I think nearly all of them.
most of them.
Yeah.
You've probably allegedly brought me to buy them, most of them.
Yeah.
And not one of them, I believe one of them I thought was good enough. This is a funny one. Out of all of those cars, there was only ever one that I believed was good enough to pass the NCT. I brought Dan with me to the NCT, and it failed dangerous. I got a failed dangerous sticker on the only car I ever thought was good enough to pass the test. I was so proud. I took that home and I framed it. I was delighted with that. And that's more or less like, we just love shitboxes. We love misery.
Pretty much. And I think there's that kind of balance in it as well that you'll see when we record full episodes and kind of down the line. So I've got an old rare Jap Corolla. I like Jap cars. I like all kind of Jap. I like drifting. I like all that kind of stuff. But then you're kind of more of the
absolute. Like, I mean, I go onto Marketplace and I'll find the dirtiest stinker that you can find, and I'll think that is beautiful.
Well, we're currently looking at one here with just paint hanging off the wing. Don't even know what colour it is. I think sometimes I think it's black, sometimes I think it's blue.
It's brilliant. It's great. I haven't about a week. I'm pumping about 600 quid into it already because things keep breaking. That's just me, and it's a diesel. It's a dirty diesel.
Yeah. I've had my fair share of diesels. Yeah. I'm glad my diesel days are long and gone.
Yeah, and I've had my fair share of Jap yachts as well. But for me, it's always going to be a dirty diesel.
Yeah,
always. And so, like, going off on tangents again here, Dan.
That's the way it's going to go.
Yeah. So,
but I think that kind of sums up what the podcast is about. It's just us talking bollocks.
Yeah.
None of it matters.
And I'm hoping that some of the stuff, obviously, this episode here is going to be all over the place. It's going to be up in the air. It's our first episode. You're going to have to bear with us. None of this is natural. I actually feel very awkward. I feel a little bit naked here.
Yeah.
So it's going to come with time. But I feel like,
I think this is an important episode to put out too, because this is given, rather than jumping into episode 1 and then you kind of going,
who the fuck are these?
What are these talking about? Fucking reeky diesels. Shut up. You're probably going to say that in episode 1,
yeah,
but
100%.
At least you got a heads up before you go to episode 1.
People watching this been like, these two waffling bastards.
It's your own fault if you go to episode 1 now.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's going to be.
You have been warned.
So our socials are on everything. Well, on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, Redline Republic
podcast.
Redline Republic podcast. I believe on Instagram and TikTok. I think it's just Redline Republic. I'm not too sure. We can tag in the
everything on the description. It'll be all there. Go like them, subscribe them,
follow.
So basically, the way it's going to run now is
every Tuesday.
It's currently fucking. What time is it? Late,
quite late. Yeah.
So the plan was it's currently Friday.
10 p.m. on a Friday.
We're hopefully going to drop this tonight.
Yeah.
And get this out there. And then immediately after this, well into the morning, it's going to be Saturday by the time that the hour gets recorded. Yeah. That's going to be recorded today too.
Yeah. And we have to record an hour-long episode after this. So.
Yeah, and we couldn't even get through 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So every Tuesday is going to come out, but between now and Tuesday, you're going to see clips on our Instagram and our TikTok. So like them, share them, tell us if they're great, tell us if they're
of the hour-long video that we have
coming up,
pre-recorded that we haven't recorded yet.
Yeah. Hopefully there's clips coming out. Hopefully we get a podcast recorded.
If you don't see clips, just send the search party out.
Yeah. But if you can like them, subscribe to the channels, share them, tell your friends, have a look at these two fucking idiots.
Yeah,
let's have a laugh at them.
Listen, and at the end of the day, we're new to the podcast. We're going to continue with them. However bad this video is, however badly it does, we're going to stick with it. Nobody's perfect. We have never done a podcast before, so obviously this one's not going to be great. No. But hopefully in time we can get better. So if there's anything that we're doing wrong that doesn't come across right on camera, if there's something that you'd prefer or you feel might be better for us, don't be afraid to drop a comment and let us know.
And don't just say, that podcast was shite.
Yeah,
Tell us why it's shite.
yeah, that's not very good feedback at all. So we're just gonna like we're gonna let you know what's going to be in episode 1.
Yeah, we've touched on it, how many cars we've had. We're going to pick 4 cars each out that we've owned. And we're going to attempt now to find 2 good ones. The much easier part is going to pick out 2 bad ones.
It's going to be hard to find which bad 2 are we going to talk about.
Well, there's plenty of bad 2 to talk about. And we're going to let you know why they were good, why they were bad.
Maybe tell you a story on them as well. There's plenty of stories that we have about.
Even going to buy them.
Yeah.
One car you told me not to buy. What did I do?
Bought it. Right, he actually took photos on the way home. He didn't even make it home.
Yeah.
Took photos on the way home to list it for sale after me telling him not to buy it.
Yes.
But anyway, there's loads of stories like that we would love to tell you though. But also,
we will down the line.
we will, of course. But also, if you've got any questions that you would want to hear us answer for you, drop us a message. It's more than likely going to be on my Snapchat or on the socials for the Redline Republic podcast. So just don't be afraid to drop us a message. We're more than happy to answer any questions.
What you want to know more about what we didn't touch on today? Maybe about me. You probably know plenty about him, but you obviously know nothing about me. So maybe there's something else you want to know about me.
Why are you on the sex offenders register? You tell them that story now. Oh, actually. Yeah.
But then, if there's any other questions you want us to answer about anything car related,
Yeah.
our opinions are usually fairly bad.
They're real, and
They probably won't make sense.
They're definitely not right either.
No, they're 100% wrong, but they're opinions.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear a terrible opinion on something to do with cars, ask us and we'll give you that terrible opinion.
Yeah.
And I think all our podcasts are going to start with like what's going on in the week,
Yeah.
what's happening in our lives, what do we notice is happening in around the world of.
Hopefully some funny stories as well that we have.
Yeah, wait till you see now. There's not going to be a single funny thing happen to us.
No, I guarantee there will be, because even just driving down the road to pick up these microphones, man,
Yeah.
it's rare that I ever leave this shed. It's mostly I spend the majority of my time in the shed working, and when I get out into the wild, I swear to God, well, it's like a movie. The shit that I see, it's like, how is this stuff not being documented? So like, I'll try and get out into the wild more often to get a few of those stories. And we'll tell you about them in the first 15 minutes of each episode.
Yeah.
Then we'll get into some groundbreaking stuff.
I don't know about groundbreaking. We get into some stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll see about that.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I think we're on the time there, are we?
I think that's us for our first episode 0.
Yeah, sweet. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we're not after scaring you away. And hopefully we can see you as a viewer on the next video.
So stay tuned on the socials for a sneak peek of us talking absolute shite for episode 1, which will be dropping early in the morning on Tuesday.
Yeah. All right. Ciao for now. See you for the week. Thanks for calling. That one.